Level 1, the Applicant. You're 24. You've been Army Special Forces for 3 years now. 2 combat deployments. You've jumped out of planes at night, cleared buildings room by room, and dragged a wounded man through a firefight. But you've seen them. You don't know their names. Nobody does. They move through the base like they're not really there. No unit patches, no rank on their chest. They show up before a mission, do something no one is allowed to talk about, and disappear before breakfast. Someone tells you they're Delta, but officially they don't exist. They're called the Unit. You find the recruitment notice in the base newspaper. It doesn't say Delta Force. It says Special Operations Unit requiring surgical application of unique skills. At least 22 years old, at least 2.5 years of service remaining. You tick every box. You put in your application. 6 weeks pass. You get the letter. You've been selected for the screening briefing. But you don't tell anyone, of course. Level 2, the Candidate. Late September, Camp Dawson, West Virginia. There are 120 men in your class. Rangers, Green Berets, a few regular Army. By the end of the month, 12 of you will remain. The first week is physical. You run 18 miles with a 45-pound pack. Then they add weight. Then they stop telling you the distance. You just walk. Your feet blister on day 2. You tape them, lace your boots, and continue to walk. No group, no team, just you, a compass, a map, and a checkpoint that keeps moving further away. Land navigation is done alone. Always alone. They want to know what you do when no one is watching. You move through pitch-black forest at 2 a.m. with a 65-pound ruck grinding into your spine. Your shoulders go numb after hour 3. You don't stop. You find the stake in the ground. You mark your card. You move to the next one. On day 11, a man next to you at the water station sets his pack down. Doesn't pick it back up. He walks to the road. A van collects him. He's gone. On week 4, you're taken into a room one at a time. A board of operators you'll never see again asks about decisions you've made under pressure. They study your face more than your answers. 3 days later, the result arrives. You're in. Level 3, the Student. The next 6 months, you don't exist. Almost no contact with family, your phone stays in a locker, your girlfriend stops hearing from you. Your mother thinks something has happened. You push that down, though. You push everything down. You get good at that. There are 6 phases. Marksmanship first. Thousands of rounds a week. Not aiming, reacting. You shoot stationary targets until it's reflex, then moving targets, then rooms. The shoot house is a maze of plywood corridors. First, only enemy targets inside. Then they add hostages. Then the hostages are replaced by your classmates. Live ammunition. The concussion from a breach charge hits you flat in the chest every time. Your ears ring for hours. That becomes normal. You learn to build a breaching charge from hardware store components. You blow a reinforced steel door in under 4 seconds. Tradecraft, CIA instructors, dead drops, surveillance, counter-surveillance, how to pass a package in a crowd without contact, how to disappear on a city street. Advanced driving, offensive and defensive. You learn to use a vehicle as a weapon. You total 3 cars. That's expected. 6 months later, you graduate. No ceremony. You shake some hands. Someone tells you which squadron you've been assigned to. You are now an operator, sans pari, without equal. No one outside this building will ever know. Level 4, the Junior Operator. You're 26, a squadron. You have a locker, a team, and a cage of weapons that would cost more than your parents' house. You are the new man. You know almost nothing, but you don't complain. 2 days' notice to deploy anywhere on Earth. You sleep with a bag packed. The call comes at 3 a.m., 4 months in. 4 hours later, you're on a plane. 14 hours after that, you're stacked on a courtyard wall in northern Iraq. Your hands are steady, your breathing is relaxed. You've trained for this exact moment more times than you can count. The door comes off, you go in. The whole thing takes 11 minutes. You're back on the plane before sunrise. You run 12 of those raids in 7 months. Nobody at home knows where you've been. Your girlfriend asks if you're okay. Your stomach tightens. You say yes. You're not sure if that's true anymore. Base pay, jump pay, hazard pay. It comes to roughly $85,000 a year. But that's not why you're here. The most powerful military on Earth points you at a problem, and you solve it. That's enough. Level 5, the Senior Operator. You're 31, 5 years in the unit. Iraq, Yemen, Colombia, Libya. You specialize now. Breacher. Doors, walls, vehicles, safes. You open things that are not supposed to open. You carry a custom charge you designed yourself. You've used it on 4 continents. You can set it in the dark in only 11 seconds. Your team runs like a machine. You don't talk during a raid. Everyone already knows their position, their sector, and their job. You've drilled it so many times, the building is cleared before most soldiers would have finished stacking on the door. One night in eastern Syria, your team hits a compound. The first room clears in 4 seconds. The second room takes longer. Your team leader takes a round through his right arm. The sound is different than what you expected. Less of a crack, more of a wet thud. You pull him back, tourniquet in 11 seconds. The raid continues. The target is secured. Your team leader is evacuated. He's back in the unit 8 months later. No medal, no press release. It didn't happen. Your dad calls to ask how you're doing. You tell him you've been doing a lot of training. He says he's proud of you. He doesn't know for what. You make around $110,000 a year. You don't think about the money. You're promoted. You don't celebrate. You go back to the range. Level 6, the team leader. You're 35, Master Sergeant. You leave a 5-man assault team. The planning is yours now. Mission briefs, intelligence analysis, sequencing, contingencies. If the helicopter goes down, you have a plan. If the target isn't there, you have a plan. If the whole thing goes sideways in the first 30 seconds, you have a plan. Your team pulls a hostage rescue in West Africa. A contractor taken 7 weeks earlier. It's a compound in the bush, 2 hours outside the nearest city. Intelligence has 12 guards, 2 structures, 1 generator. You fast rope in at 2 a.m. The compound is dark. The generator goes the moment you hit the ground. Your support element cuts it from outside the wire. You move in total darkness. You know every corner from the rehearsals. 6 minutes and 40 seconds later, the contractor is on the helicopter. He's shaking so badly he can't hold the IV line himself. All 12 guards are down. You get home. You sleep for 14 hours. Then you go back to work. Your marriage ends 6 months later. You don't fight it. She's been alone for most of 3 years. That's just what it costs. You make around $130,000. It sits in an account you barely check. Level 7, the Troop Sergeant Major. You're 40 now. You command an entire assault troop. 4 teams, 22 operators. The most lethal collection of human beings currently breathing. You are the senior enlisted leader of everything your troop touches. Training, readiness, personnel. If one of your operators is struggling, you know before his team leader does. You send your troop into a compound in Afghanistan. 3 structures, 14 known fighters. The assault takes 9 minutes. On the way out, an RPG hits the lead vehicle. The blast wave rolls through you from 50 meters away. You feel it in your teeth, in your gut. 2 of your operators are inside. Both are pulled out. One has a broken arm and a ruptured eardrum. The other won't walk right for a year. You fly to Germany with them. You sit at the beds. You don't say much. You don't need to. You fill out the paperwork. You write down what happened. You don't write everything. You never do. Your daughter turned 9 last week. You found out from a voicemail. You listened to it twice on the flight back. Nobody knows you exist. The unit doesn't exist. That's still fine with you. Level 8, the Squadron Commander. You're 44. You command an entire assault squadron. 3 troops, close to 200 personnel. You're not in the field anymore. You're in secure conference rooms at Fort Liberty and the Pentagon. You brief generals. You brief the Secretary of Defense. Once you briefed the President. You don't use your real name in most of these rooms. The missions you authorize are strategic now. Months of satellite imagery, signals collection, source reporting. It all flows to your desk, and you decide whether it's solid enough to send people in. One night, you say go on a compound in northern Mali. The intelligence has been building for 11 weeks. 2 confirmed high-value targets. You give the order at 2 a.m. Your troop hits the compound at 0400. The targets aren't there. The compound has been empty for 6 days. What is there? A family. A man, his wife, their 3 children. They're unharmed. Your operators are professional. Nobody fires a shot that shouldn't be fired. The family is zip-tied and searched and then released in under 4 minutes. The father looks at your operator's face. No patch, no flag, nothing. And he will never know who came through his door in the dark, or why. You write the report. The intelligence failure is documented. An analyst in Virginia gets a note in his file. The family goes back to sleep, or at least tries to. You don't sleep at all. You authorized that. You made the call. It was the right call with the information you had. You tell yourself that. Most nights you believe it. The next target package lands on your desk 72 hours later. You read it, you make the call. That's the job. Level 9, the Unit Commander, Delta 6. You are the commanding officer of the 1st Special Forces Operational Detachment, Delta. A handful of people on Earth hold this position in their careers. You are one of them. Your name doesn't appear in any public document connected to this role. Your face is not photographed in any official capacity. You have no social media and haven't had any in over a decade. If someone asks what you do, you tell them Human Resources, Department of Defense. You answer directly to the President. The President can have your unit wheels up in 2 hours. You're managing active operations in 3 countries simultaneously. One of your operators was killed last month. You wrote the letter to his family by hand. You flew to the funeral. You stood at the back where no cameras could find you. Your hands didn't shake. You're not sure when that stopped meaning anything. You're 49 years old, 25 years inside the unit, countries you can't name, decisions that will never be declassified, lives saved that you'll never know the names of, mistakes that will never be acknowledged. You walk through the compound at Fort Liberty at 05:30. The lights are already on in the training bays. A new class of candidates just arrived from selection. Early 20s. They look pretty young. They look like you looked. They've watched the movies. They've read the books. They think they know what this is. The raids, the gear, the missions that change history. They have no idea about the letters. They have no idea about the funerals. The one where you stand at the back so no camera finds your face. They don't know that the hardest part isn't the selection or the training or the firefights in places that don't officially exist. The hardest part is carrying it for 25 years, alone, without anyone to tell. They'll find out. They always do. And the cycle continues.